Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Kristi Noem is the governor of South Dakota, and she is in the public eye at the top level, primarily for her reaction to COVID. She was one of the more anti-lockdown governors, one of the more outspoken against the hysteria during that hell couple of years that we all went through together. And now she's in the discussion for maybe she could be a pick, one of the people in the discussion for Trump's VP. She has a book out, and if you're reporting on her honestly, you read the book and you go through and you find the most important things to know for a person that's about to be president. Where do they stand? Does she want to end Social Security? Does she want to reform it? I mean, that's a program that's going to affect all of us. How does she feel about balancing budget? How does she feel about foreign policy? How does she feel about abortion? How does she feel about all kinds of illegal immigration and any of these issues of the day? But the one and only one thing the people are focusing on betrays the truth. Because if you weren't reporting on her honestly and you were only reviewing her book with the hope and effort of discrediting her as much as possible, if you're only reading her book as a political activist and saying, how can I report on this in a way that will help the narrative the most, this is the result you would get. If you were a dishonest political hack and not an objective observer of journalism, this is exactly how you would report it. You would go find the one thing in the book that could make her look as bad as possible. And then not only do you report on that one and only one thing, but you spin it to make it look as bad as possible. So if you see a media outlet that read Kristi Noem's book and they want you to know, they want you to learn from it, and the only thing they tell you is this dog story, you're not watching a news outlet. You're not watching a journalist. You're watching a political activist. And if they are telling you their news, then they're dishonest and they're hacks. So it is with that setting that I bring you the story. Now, you've probably heard a similar story 1,000 times, that someone had a dog and the dog didn't hunt and it didn't behave and it couldn't be trained and it killed animals and it attacked humans. And finally, we had to put the damn thing down. Well, if you are a hack, you have to pretend like this is beyond the pale. There's no excuse why you should ever put down a dog. And Morning Joe did the best. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, the morning show on MSNBC. I swear, if you don't recognize their voices, you wouldn't be able to tell if this is a Saturday Night Live skit or not. First off, they repeatedly call it a puppy. Well, colloquially speaking, a dog's a puppy for its first year of life, and then go Google the definition of puppy. We all kind of agree that after the first year of life, it's no longer a puppy. But they call it a puppy anyway, even though it's over a year old. Why? Is it because it's more accurate? Is it because they're telling you the truth? Or is it because they're trying to frame it in a way that makes you like Kristi Noem as little as possible? Again, another hack move. But check this out. I want you to just appreciate how deliciously dramatic they're being. Because like in the first few seconds, Mika's going to bring it up, oh, this Kristi Noem story. And you're going to hear Joe like, oh, like there's ever a time for a guy that's presenting what's supposed to be a news show go, oh, in reaction to an opinion or a story. Oh, does that sound like an objective journalist who's trying to get to the bottom of the truth? Or some guy who's trying to convince you that this woman's terrible. This is so awful. I can't believe this happened.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is defending her decision to kill her 14-month-old female dog, Cricket. It's a puppy, actually.
Yeah, I got to correct that. I said it correctly the first time, but I have to correct myself so I get it wrong. I have to use the less accurate. I have to replace the more accurate word with the less accurate word because it's more sensational this way. Just hackery. So bad.
So, Noem, who's considered a contender to become Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate, received backlash.
You hear her cringing? Calm down, lady. Dude, anyway.
From both sides of the aisle after a passage in her upcoming memoir revealed a startling anecdote where she admitted to murdering her dog. According to an...
Murdering her dog. A startling anecdote. Listen, there is nothing startling about an anecdote of someone who grew up on a farm who had to do a mercy kill. That is a normal part of every farm experience. Anyone who does any sort of animal husbandry or training or raising or livestock or whatever, If you're startled by it, then you're ignorant of what farm life is like, and you just accidentally admitted that you have no idea what people from farms go through. I don't believe that's true, though. I don't believe she's an idiot. I don't believe she's ignorant. I believe she is just trying to make this sound so beyond the pale. She's pretending to not know that that's not dog murder. This is putting down a dog that won't behave. That's attacking humans.
An excerpt from The Guardian. Noem took Cricket, that's the little girl puppy's name.
Wait, watch this. They're going to tell you 28 things Cricket did that really aren't that bad. And then at the end, they'll be like, oh, yeah, and she was attacking humans. And then they had to put her down. Right? None of this stuff matters until they get to the part about attacking humans.
Puppy.
On a pheasant hunt with older dogs, but writes that the young pup ruined the hunt after chasing the birds and going out of her mind.
Oh my God,
with
what's she
excitement.
going to do? She had a bad morning.
So the dog was bounding around with excitement and so happy.
So she said too happy.
Noem describes calling Cricket, then using an electronic collar to attempt to bring her under control. One of those shock collars, you know. Nothing worked to stop Cricket from running around with joy. Then
with joy. Listen to these people. The dog's just too happy. She killed the dog because it was so happy. That's how evil she is, y'all. She killed, a puppy. She killed a happy puppy because she didn't want it to be happy. She doesn't like seeing puppies be happy.
On the way home after the hunt, as Noem stopped to talk to a local family, Cricket escaped Noem's truck and attacked the family's chickens, grabbing one chicken at a time, crunching it to death with one bite,
By the way,
and then dropping it to attack
this
another.
Happens. The question is, like, how can a governor...
That's a terrible moment.
How can a governor not keep...
I've been there.
...a dog under control?
Well, it happens.
Put it on a leash or...
Hang on. I want you to put a thumbtack in the map of your brain, of your memory right here. How can a governor not keep control of a dog? This is going to come back in the next segment, by the way. I'll get back into that. I just want you to remember that. Remember that for now.
Or whatever. She's blaming the dog.
This is the part I don't
breaking
understand.
out of the truck.
I hated that dog, Noem writes, adding that Cricket had proved herself. Cricket. Untrainable. Cricket.
It's Cricket.
Dangerous to anyone she came in contact with.
Fault,
Cricket.
Not her.
And less worthless as a hunting dog. Cricket. At that moment, Noem says, I realized I had to put her down.
All right.
It was not a pleasant job, she writes, but it had to be done.
She took the puppy to a gravel pit and gunned
After
it down.
Noem's story caused controversy, the governor doubled down and tried to paint the story as one of the necessary dark sides of farm life.
No.
Writing on X, the fact is South Dakota law states that dogs who attack and kill livestock can be put down. Given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior toward people by biting them.
There it is. People. They've been telling the story of Cricket for 2.5 minutes, where they get to the part where the dog repeatedly was attacking people. Because they are intentionally misleading their audience into thinking Kristi Noem was killing the dog because it didn't hunt good, or because it was too happy, or because it killed a couple of chickens. No, it was attacking people. Your thoughts on this? 800-288-9227. The Twitter sphere and social media and TV stations are just all gleefully shouting that this disqualifies her from being VP. Do you think this disqualifies her from being the vice presidential ticket because she had to do a mercy kill on a dog that was attacking humans, a farm dog? Really? Because the hyperventilating's out of control, and it's pretty comical. I only got 30 seconds left of this soundbite, and then I want to hear from you. 800-288-9227, 800-288-WBAP. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Kristi Noem's getting some heat over the weekend because her book has a story about a mercy kill that she did because the dog wouldn't stop attacking humans. I was just playing you the just fantasy, comical retelling of the story from the Morning Joe show, where they spend 2.5 minutes talking about everything else but the reason the dog got killed. Then they just sort of real quickly slip it in there once at the end where, I mean, other than attacking humans, I just want to play that part real quick. Like, this is actually 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the segment. They finally get to the truth. So you can't say that they left it out, but here it is. Just
given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior toward people by biting them.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I mean, what a great dog. It was just so happy. I'm sorry, puppy. please, if you ever catch me doing this, call me out, call the show and be like, Parker, you're doing what Morning Joe said. And I will take a moment of self-reflection and I will take that complaint seriously. But I wanted to go back to that other, remember when I told you to put like a little thumbtack in your memory about that one part of Joe Scarborough's takedown?
The question is, like, how can
That's
governor...
a terrible moment.
How can a governor not keep...
I've been there.
...a dog under control?
Well, it happens.
Put it on a leash or whatever. She's blaming the dog.
This is the part I don't
breaking
understand.
out of the truck.
All right, so clearly, if someone can't keep a dog under control, then they don't deserve to be in a public office. I mean, you shouldn't vote for someone like that. I mean, they didn't say that outright, but that's sort of the implication. Like, that's a critical voice. That's not like I couldn't keep the dog under control, whatever. Couldn't keep the dog under control. Well, you remember President Biden got a German Shepherd when he got in office, and it just got kicked out because Commander bit Secret Service agents 24 times. Now, they only admitted to 11, and then there was a Freedom of Information Act request. Someone had to go to court to get the email records from the Secret Service that show they were lying. It was at least 24 times that we have the emails on. So they lied about that, but it's even worse than that. Commander is the second Biden dog. Major was the first one. Major went through Biden Secret Service personnel. So it's not even like a coincidence. Like, well, look, just because he got a bad dog doesn't mean he's a bad owner. 2 bad dogs? What's that? Because Kristi Noem's a bad dog owner. Kristi Noem's evil. Do we know what happened to these dogs that left? Do we know what happens to them after they attack 24 human beings? Do they go to a animal sanctuary where they get daily back massages and die of natural causes, or do they get put down? We're told that one of them went to go live with some family friends in Delaware. Yeah, that's what you say when you put them down a lot of times. But I don't need to hear from every farmer out there going, oh, well, we have to do mercy kills all the time. I cover that ground. I'm from the middle of nowhere, and I've had to do mercy kills on the farm growing up because, yes, I am a hick who just fell off the hay trailer, but that was years ago. But I also love this idea. So many of the responses when you see it on Twitter, you could have at least taken it to a shelter, or you could have at least rehomed it, or you could have at least found it in. No, you can't, dude. You can't. If it's attacking human beings, what are you going to do? Give it to your friends so they can get attacked? If you take a dog that has attacked human beings to a shelter, you know what they do? They put it down. That's what happens. Oh, and the animal activist crowd, you PETA lovers out there. You act like taking it to one of these animal rights organizations would be better. PETA kills most of the animals you give to them. PETA kills over like 65% of the animals that are given to them. Some of them they like actually find the owner and give it back, but most of them they kill. In fact, in the report here, if you just look at the headquarters for PETA in Virginia, this is one location in one state. Since 1998, they've killed over 47,000 cats and dogs. They are the number one killer of dogs in America. Is the organization, the shelters that you're demanding this dog goes through, has killed far more dogs than Kristi Noem. It's like everything about this criticism is bunk. You either have to be ignorant or just willfully reckless with the truth. First off, it's not a puppy. She didn't kill him because he was too happy. There's nothing wrong with the human being that has an out-of-control dog. And sending it to the shelter is not going to fix it. Like, everything about this is just garbage. But how many people are saying right now, oh, this disqualifies? I want to talk to the disqualifying people. Rosemary in Fullard, you're on 820 AM, now 93.3 FM WBAP. Do you think this disqualifies Kristi Noem from being VP?
Let me put it this way. I think that it will affect Trump's votes, and I think that he'll lose thousands of votes because I'm an animal rescuer. I'm almost 85 years old, and I started rescuing when I was a teenager. We have had dogs through the years who have been so aggressive and have bitten people and all that, and we have turned them around. There are shelters that specialize in that can turn the dog around. That's not a doom, a thing that needs to make a dog be put down. It's
Rosemary, is there such thing as an animal who can't be rehabilitated?
Oh, yes, I'm sure there is.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you know Kristi Noem's dog wasn't one of these?
I don't know that. But what I'm saying is that there are numerous animal rescuers in this country. And I mean, we deal with even Canadian people, Alaska people, all that, and sending our dogs to rescues all over the whole United States too. And what I'm saying is that if the facts are that this dog could not be rehabilitated, that's not going to be in the news. In the news is going to be Kristi Noem shoots dogs.
Does this change your vote?
No, it won't change mine.
Did you vote for Trump? If you don't mind me asking. Okay, and are you going to vote for him again?
Yes. Oh, you better believe it.
But you're an animal rescuer, and this doesn't change your vote. Why do you think it's going to change the votes of other animals?
Because not everybody is understanding as I am about this.
Yeah, I think
rescuers. I've already heard from people who said I refuse to vote for Trump if he picks Noem.
Are they already Trump voters, or are these people who weren't going to vote for him anyway?
Kind of iffy.
Okay.
Not knowing exactly which one they're going to vote for. All
right. Well, fair enough. You've seen that. I will just say, not that you're necessarily wrong. I'm just skeptical of that claim. I don't think it'll have much of an effect on the vote total.
I think you're wrong.
Okay. Well, fair enough. You're welcome to call in and say that, Rosemary. I appreciate it.
Animal rescuers have a mighty big voice in this kind of situation.
Okay. Well, you may be proven right. I appreciate you calling in, though. Thanks for calling, Rosemary.
Well, you're just welcome, and I listen to you all the time, so I'm happy to speak with you.
Oh, she's so sweet, even when she disagrees. Thank you, Rosemary. All right, David in Granbury, you're next up on the James Show. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm kind of center right, and I buzz around all the political talk. I don't just go to the one station I want to hear, and I happen to be channel surfing, getting ready for work. And I just happened to get on that spot, and I'm telling you, Scarborough, he was just going, I just don't think you can vote for somebody like this. And it got me thinking that, people are getting so worked up about this deal, and I love dogs more than anybody in America, but they'll champion people who are pro-abortion. It's not pro-choice. It's pro-abortion. And I'm not far right, but I mean, I watched the Golden Globes 2 years ago. And
David, I don't think there's a connection here to abortion. I understand, like, generally speaking, like, we revere life, and they're usually so quick to end it while it's in the womb. But I know you're trying to make a connection here, but I think it's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that we're going to get so worked up about this, and then people that are, pro-choice have no problem with that.
Oh, I hear you.
Matter of fact, they are very much in favor of it. And like I said, this actress, she won some award, and she was basically saying if I hadn't had an abortion, I wouldn't have the career that I had. And I remember that. Dude. I was like, dude, man. So, I mean, I get it, the dog thing, but let's don't act all offended about a dog when we are not offended. I mean, let's get on both sides. Get on. I get it.
Right, you're not offended when it happens to a human. Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to go. I'm running out of time here, David. I appreciate you calling in. I think we got the gist, though, David and Granbury. Appreciate it. Got some great callers coming up next. You guys stay put, and if you want to join the conversation, 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there. Welcome back to the James Show. Pardon me, I was just out shooting dogs on the break. That's one of our hobbies we like to do on the right side of the political spectrum. We're just puppy killers over here. We all think it's hilarious. We like to in fact, sometimes I like to get a whole row of puppies. I'll get like 12, sometimes even 30 of them. Just go to the pound and get as many puppies as I can. And I just line them up, just mow them down. Because that's how evil we are. That's how evil we are. So you should never vote for anyone who supports, I don't know, crazy things like balancing the budget or dumb stuff like that, because we're puppy killers. That's what we do. That's who we are. Just kidding. If you're just joining us, we're not puppy killers. Kristi Noem's book has a story about a mercy kill she did on a farm in South Dakota growing up. And we're acting like that disqualifies her from polite society, much less office. What do you think about that? Carl in Arlington. You're on the James Show. Does this ruin Kristi Noem's vice presidential aspirations?
Well, not for me.
Right.
How you doing, James?
I'm well, sir.
So I'm not from Bug Tussle. I'm from a little west of there, maybe Cowtick.
Yeah. I think we played y'all in skeet shooting or something.
Yeah, right on. So, dogs, sick, bad, whatever. If you take them in the city to go have them euthanized, it's like $300. And not everybody appreciates it in the household, but it's like 25, 30 cents. And you go ahead and dig a hole and bury them and do what you do. But,
From the economic standpoint, to get the exact same result. See, there's a lot of people who are okay with it as long as it happens behind closed doors and they don't have to see it and they don't have to be confronted with it. And a lot of people haven't even put 5 seconds of thought into this. I've been amazed. I remember when I first started in radio, I had this girl I was dating was still in college, and one of her little PETA friends sent her a PETA video. And since I'd already started in radio and doing I Am Who I Am, she was, well, what do you think about this? And it was how these chickens are factory farmed. And they put them up on this conveyor belt and they just slit all their throats and then they rip all their feathers off and they cut them into little pieces and it's so gory and awful and gross. And I just told her, I said, okay, you saw this video, what, yesterday? Day before yesterday, where did you think chickens came from in the store or in the restaurant? Did you think they all died of natural causes? Did you think they went to like a little chicken hospice and they had a nurse tech that was sort of massaging her shoulders while they gave him the medicine to keep her comfortable until she died of natural? I mean, like, what do you think happens? Like, you're just admitting to me you don't know what goes on and where your food comes from. You just think food comes from the store. You are just admitting you're disqualified by this story. If you didn't know where chickens came from day before yesterday, you are in no position to lecture the rest of us about the ethical treatment of animals. You still have some studying to do. And so I think most of these people are pretending to be offended by the idea that there could be a dog put down on a farm because it makes Kristi Noem look bad, because it makes Donald Trump look bad, because it makes Team Red look bad. But deep down in their heart of hearts, they know. If they didn't know, then they're so ignorant their opinion should mean nothing. Carl, out in Caltig.
I hope she doesn't talk about shooting Bambi in the wintertime.
Oh, I know. We'll never win another election again. Great stuff, Carl from Caltic. It's right next to Buck Tussle. It's on the other side, like it's Hooterville, Buck Tussle, and then Caltic. All right, thank you very much for hanging out with the James Show today. Stay put. Coming up next, Mark Levin, and then my buddy Chris Crock is going to end your day for you, and then we'll be back to do this again tomorrow. This has been the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. At 93.3.